Chat About It, the new interactive internet radio station of the future. Chataboutit.com.
This is the Jan Spiller Show, live every Tuesday night. For life advice using your personal astrology chart, call toll-free 877-242-8212. You can ask about anything: love, money, your job, relationships. Find out what your best path of action is. And now, here's Jan Spiller.
Welcome to the Jan Spiller Show. And good evening, or do I say good night, even though it's night? No, you don't say good night. Okay, Jan, how are you today? Very, very hot day, huh?
I'm telling you. Thank heavens for air conditioning in New York City.
Could you imagine without air conditioning how it would be?
Sometimes I do think of that, Frank. And I used to live in a walk-up, and there wasn't air conditioning there. So, yeah, I can imagine, yeah. Then I was a kid, it was all right.
I want to move to Alaska. Anyway, we have Marlon on hold for you, Jan. So she is the first caller, Marlon.
All right. Good. How are you tonight, Marlon?
Good. How are you, Jan?
I'm just fine. Are you in New York, or where are you?
Am I at work?
No, in New York. Where are you calling from?
Oh, sorry, the San Francisco Bay Area.
Oh, good. How is it out there?
Yeah.
Can you hear me all right, Marlon?
Say that again?
Can you hear me all right or not? Am I speaking loudly enough?
Yeah, a little bit muffled, but yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Okay, so I'm glad you've called. What's going on in your life?
It's been like everybody else, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of changes, and a lot of different doors seem to be opening as far as career, and just kind of wanted a general insights from you as far as career, and of course the usual questions on romance, etc.
Okay, just kind of generally what's going on, period, in this lifetime on planet Earth. Well,
yeah.
Basically, I'm not quite sure. Like, do you have a profession right now at the current time, or are you looking for one, or what is your question along that line?
Well, I was just I've been working as a project manager on a software project with a software company, but I'm in transition, moving away from that. My real passion is media and marketing.
Okay.
And I've been very involved in the community, a lot with the Hispanic community.
Okay. Well, in about 6 months, you're going to go into, or maybe it's more like 4 months, I could tell you exactly, actually, but you're going to go into a period of real financial abundance. It's going to last for more than a year. So you can count on good money, rare opportunities, easy money coming your way at that point with whatever decision you make. It looks to me like about a year and a half ago, you started to shine. I mean, up until then, you went through a period of just like 3 years of a tremendous amount of, like work and not getting recognized. Were you with that software company at that time?
I was with a wireless company, and there's talk about wireless company, and then a cable company.
And it's like you were doing tons of work and not getting recognized for it?
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Well, then about a year and a half ago, suddenly your stars started to shine, and all the work that you were doing before that started being recognized. And I want you to know, Marlon, that actually your talents, all the work you've been doing for the last 16 years, is now beginning to shine and be recognized. So this passion of yours may have been something that wasn't really achievable for you in the last 14 years, but now it's going to be. I mean, things are coming much easier for you. Your talents are being recognized. Does that make sense in terms of what you're experiencing?
A little bit. Like I said, I'm in transition, but I do see some different opportunities opening up, and I was considering trying to go back to school and get a master's and whatnot, but I do seem to be making a lot of connections, with kind of nicer connections than I have in the past.
Actually, connections are your key to success in every area. You have a tremendous ability to communicate, and that's why marketing is a great idea. But it's up to you to go out there and start talking to people. Reading newspapers is very good for you. It balances you. Any kind of factual information that you can get to give you more information about which way to go really solidifies your position. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it does. And I don't know if, ironically enough, a lot of the ups and downs and turmoil happened after my father's passing about 7 years ago, 2003.
Uh-huh.
A lot of changes since that, and I just kind of wondering if the timing is coincidental or if it's just a lot of anything to do with that, you know.
The timing of what you're going through right now?
Yeah, a lot of the chaos as far as, you know, a lot of risk with the family at that time, and a lot of changes as far as my immediate surroundings.
Uh-huh. So at the current time, you have a lot of changes in your surroundings. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Unfortunately, after my father passed, there was a rift in the family over assets. So we really don't interact with that side of the family. But there have been a lot of different changes and some synchronous meetings and events and meeting different people from my father's homeland, which is kind of interesting.
Well, I think that if you look back at your history, even before your father passed, there were always you always experienced some difficulties in your close connections with others. Like the family was always difficult. Any time where you were involved on a financial level or on a deep personal bonded level with another person, there were a lot of expectations you had that were disappointed along the way. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, and I think I've actually had a lot of different epiphanies in the last few years as far as expectations. I really don't expect too much from people. It's a lot easier that way.
Beautiful. Well, yes, that's beautiful. And this is because there is a tendency, like some people have a tendency to become over-dependent upon others. It's like you would really support them, expecting that they would really support you back, and oftentimes going beyond your own boundaries to support them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
involved in people's dramas.
Exactly. And none of that works this lifetime. It's when, for whatever the circumstances were that brought you to here, it was on track. Because now that you're here, you can start focusing on what you need, what's important to you. And when you begin to rely on your own energy for the strength and the success that you're looking for, that's when you start to shine. That's when you get strong. Because nobody can take away what you have personally earned.
Okay, well, as far as that makes sense in terms of romantic connections. Are there any possibilities coming up?
I'm not really. I'm seeing I'm seeing more business stuff going on right now than romance. That doesn't mean it can't happen. You do have a period here. Yeah, actually, you do have a period here when it looks like. Did you have somebody come in like in the last 4 months that just kind of showed up? I don't know if he stayed or not.
No, I've met a lot of different people, but I mean, unless sometimes people might have an interest, sometimes you kind of blind to it and you kind of, go right over your head. But I can't say that nobody that caught my interest.
Okay. Okay. So of course, then too, it depends upon what you're looking for. In your case, you're better off when you really focus on simply, going in your own direction and see if somebody comes to you. When you start looking for the other person and tuning into them, that's when you get off track. There is an opportunity happening between the 14th of August of this year up to and including, where'd it go? Let me see here. Up to and including the 11th of September. Another opportunity. This is just an opportunity. So you're going to need to get yourself out and about. It's not like it's just going to fall into your lap. The other time period is February the 23rd, 2011, up to and including March the 11th, 2011.
March 11th. Okay.
Up until that point, that's all in 2011. And actually, somebody should have come in 2010, earlier, during May of 2010. So I don't know, you might want to look back and see if somebody showed up. And if you were just too busy working or staying inside during that time, that would have cut down your chances. So take a look and keep. Have you read Astrology for the Soul?
Actually, it just started. I picked it up not too long ago, and I actually have your new moon astrology as well.
Great. Well, start reading your North Node sign, which in your case is Taurus, in Astrology for the Soul. And that will give you some real tips on how to get your relationship straight, the next one that comes along. All right?
Wonderful.
Okay. Well, thank you for calling, Marlon.
Thank you, Jan.
All righty. Bye-bye. This is Jan Spiller. The number to call to participate and have a free reading on the air, and you can ask about anything, is 212-787-7827. That's 212-787-STAR, and we'll give you an appointment for a future show. Do you have something?
Yeah, I have to tell you, it must be the heat, but the lines are completely filled up tonight.
Oh, okay. I'll talk more quickly.
Let's get to Arlene. Here
okay.
we go.
All righty.